Stoicism might be the latest trend in the past couple of years on social media, but Islam is starting to make waves in an unprecedented manner, especially after the year-long injustice and massacres that were exacted on Palestinians by the oppressing occupation. The highlight of people's attention to these people is that they are being massacred, yet they are praising God and trusting His will, which in turn has made so many people curious about this religion. With both ideologies gaining traction online, let's dive into the real comparison: Stoicism versus Islam. Imagine this: you're scrolling through social media, as we all often do, and you come across a video or post with a powerful quote. You've probably seen thousands of these in the past couple of years. You pause and think, wow, that's deep, and for a moment, you may feel motivated. You're ready to take on the world with this new nugget of wisdom, but like a sugar rush, it fades. That initial spark of energy dissolves, and you're left wondering if these impressive words and aphorisms can truly change your life. It feels like taking a temporary pill, a palliative treatment. Sure, it works for a little while, but it doesn't create a lasting shift. It doesn't cure you. You might feel inspired, but the changes don't stick. We've all been there. You're not alone if you feel like these words haven't worked for you either. Internalize this. We're living in the early 21st century, a time when technology has advanced so far that it feels like we're on the edge of a futuristic world. Yet, despite all of these advancements, we're still struggling with some of the most basic, fundamental human issues: loneliness, a sense of isolation, disconnection from others, lack of faith, and confusion about what genuinely matters. Think about it. We may have smartphones, but are we any closer to a real connection? People are searching for answers, trying out different philosophies and self-help trends, hoping to find something that fills the emptiness. One of these popular movements is Stoicism. You've seen it all over the place: quotes about controlling your emotions, living with virtue, staying rational, and being composed. It's appealing, right? These are all great pieces of advice, but are they enough? Picture this: you're lost in a vast, dense forest. Stoicism is like being handed a compass but no map in this wilderness. Sure, the compass gives you a general direction, it tells you where north is, but without a map, you're wandering blindly. The trees all look the same. Which way do you go? Do you trust your gut? Do you follow the stars? Stoicism teaches you to rely on your inner strength and reason, but without clear guidance, you can still wander aimlessly. You may stay calm, but are you moving toward anything meaningful? This is where Stoicism falls short. It equips you with the ability to control your emotions, but leaves you without clear answers to the deeper questions in life. Why should one control their emotions? Why are we here? What is the ultimate destination? And what is our purpose? In contrast, Islam doesn't just give you a compass, it gives you a detailed map, like a GPS. Imagine being in that same forest, but now you have both a compass and a map with marked trails, landmarks, and a clear path to your destination. You feel more secure and confident in where you're going. Islam provides us with that clarity. It connects us to a divine purpose, rooted in the belief in Tawhid, the oneness of Allah. Unlike Stoicism, which ties itself to the fading, materialistic, and impermanent world, Islam anchors us to the eternal, the hereafter. Allah is not subject to change or decay like the material universe. It's like trying to build your life on a rock versus building it on shifting sands. Islam offers that solid foundation, a certainty that Stoicism simply cannot wish to provide. Let's go deeper into the practices of both. Stoicism, no doubt, encourages self-discipline, which is something we can all appreciate. It tells you to control your emotions, and not to be overly swayed by what's happening around you. But Stoicism leaves much to interpretation. What does it really mean to control your emotions? If life throws unexpected challenges at you, Stoicism feels like being told to stay afloat in the middle of a storm without being given any tools. You may know you need to stay calm, but how do you do that when the waves keep crashing? Islam, on the other hand, gives you not just the tools but a step-by-step guide. From the moment we wake up to the moment we lay our heads down at night, Islam offers clear, practical guidance. Through the teachings of the Quran and the life of the Prophet Muhammad, we're shown how to navigate every aspect of life. It's like being in the same ocean, but this time you have a boat, an oar, and a life jacket to help you move with purpose. Whether it's prayer, salah, or remembrance of Allah, zikr, Islam provides us with concrete practices that help us find inner peace, balance, and discipline in our daily lives. Stoicism may help you survive the waves, but Islam helps you thrive through them, with clarity and purpose. Let's talk about purpose itself. Stoicism emphasizes self-improvement, becoming more virtuous, rational, and disciplined. But let's ask the real question, what's the end goal? Stoicism says, focus on what you can control. That's great advice, but why are we doing this? Stoicism often feels like running on a treadmill. You're constantly moving, but are you getting anywhere? It lacks a clear answer to the ultimate questions. Why are we here? What happens after all of this? It's like embarking on a journey without knowing where the finish line is. Islam, however, offers a crystal clear purpose. Life isn't a treadmill, it's a path, and that path leads to Allah and the final abode. Our purpose is to worship Allah and earn His pleasure through our actions and prayers. Every action, no matter how small, can have profound meaning if done with the intention of pleasing Allah. It's like planting seeds in a garden that will one day flourish. You're not just working for this world, but for eternal success in the hereafter. While Stoicism tells us to deal with loss and death by accepting it as inevitable, Islam gives us hope. It promises that this life isn't the end. There is a greater, more beautiful life waiting beyond death, one where justice, peace, and reward are fully realized. But also touches on an even deeper understanding on focusing on what you can control by knowing that you are not in control, Allah is. And while we strive to have a more managed life, where we can control certain things we do, it is all up to God. So, in that sense, one now knows why we should only focus on what we have and what we can control, but also aspire and work towards what we don't have in complete confidence that this God will guide us towards the path that benefits us the most. Now, think about the ethics and moral values that guide us. Stoicism promotes valuable traits, wisdom, courage, temperance, but it often centers on the individual. It's about your inner journey and your integrity. But what about the rest of the world? What about the people around you? Stoicism's inward focus can leave us feeling isolated, like we're on a solo mission. It's like tending to your own garden while the rest of the world withers away. It is true, so many of us have been sucked into this loop of self-indulgence and selfishness that often leaves us rot away in utter loneliness. Islam, on the other hand, expands our moral framework beyond the self. While we're encouraged to cultivate personal virtue and integrity, Islam is deeply rooted in social responsibility, and this is where we get the why. We're part of something greater, a global community, the Ummah, where helping others is just as important as helping ourselves. It's like being on a massive ship where everyone has a role in keeping it afloat. Islam teaches us to take care of ourselves so we can take care of our families, our neighbors, and even strangers. Through things like zakat, known in English as an alms tax, which is an obligatory annual charity, we ensure that wealth is distributed fairly, and no one is left behind. Islam's moral code creates not just inner peace but a just and harmonious society, something that Stoicism's inward focus doesn't offer. When we look at the practical benefits of both philosophies in addressing modern problems, the differences become even clearer. We live in a world where people are grappling with loneliness, moral confusion, and a lack of purpose. Stoicism's focus on emotional control can sometimes feel like building walls around your heart. Yes, it helps you avoid pain, but it also isolates you. Stoicism may tell you to detach from emotions, but where does that leave you? Alone, disconnected, and numb. Islam, however, offers a holistic solution. It doesn't just address your inner struggles, but connects you with a broader community. In times of grief, for instance, Stoicism might say, detach from your emotions and accept the pain. But Islam teaches us that grief is natural, that it's okay to feel deeply, but it is equally important to regulate your emotions. More importantly, it gives us the support of faith and community. We're not just left to grieve alone, our faith and our loved ones carry us through the hardest moments. This gives one the tools to be in moderation with everything about their life, even in times of grief, since excessiveness is against its teachings. Islam's focus on family, charity, and solidarity gives life a deeper meaning that Stoicism simply cannot match. Of course, a Stoic might argue that Stoicism isn't about emotional numbness, but about rational control over emotions. But what happens when you're left to control emotions with no moral framework? It's like being handed the steering wheel of a car without any road signs or directions. Islam provides that moral framework and the guardrails with it. Emotions are not meant to be repressed or ignored but guided. Islam teaches us how to balance our emotions with reason and faith, ensuring that we live in harmony with ourselves, others, and Allah. Being a moderate is an essential and core tenet within Islam. Being excessive with possessions, emotions, food, self-indulgence, or any other worldly matter is discouraged. But also, being stingy in denying yourself the basic necessities or the blessings that Allah has provided is equally discouraged. Islam calls for a balanced approach in all aspects of life, whether it's in our wealth, our relationships, or our personal conduct. This balance is rooted in the concept of wasatiyah, the middle or moderate path. Islam teaches that our lives should be lived with moderation and mindfulness, where we enjoy the blessings of this world without becoming consumed by them or making them our main objective. Just as overindulgence can lead to greed and arrogance, excessive denial can lead to ingratitude and hardship. By walking this middle path, a Muslim learns to appreciate the blessings while remaining grounded, to give to others generously without depriving themselves, and to maintain a healthy emotional state without becoming detached or overwhelmed. In essence, moderation ensures that we stay connected to our spiritual responsibilities while also embracing the beauty and bounty of life in a way that fosters harmony, contentment, and gratitude. Let's bring this all home with a real-life example. Imagine facing the loss of a loved one. A Stoic might tell you, control your grief, accept that death is part of life. But Islam goes much deeper. Islam acknowledges that grief is a natural, human response. But it also offers us hope, the hope of being reunited with our loved ones in the hereafter if we remain patient and steadfast. It's not just about controlling your grief, it's about healing through faith, moderating one's emotions to not let it take over, and knowing that there's more beyond this life. Islam fills the emotional and spiritual gaps that Stoicism leaves behind. It's like being told there's a beautiful, peaceful garden waiting for you after a long journey, giving you the strength to keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough. Let's consider another example, one that many of us can relate to. Imagine you're striving toward a major goal, whether it's advancing in your career, building a business, or achieving personal success. A Stoic might tell you, control your emotions, don't get too excited by success or too discouraged by failure. Stay neutral and focus on the task. While this approach helps keep you grounded, it lacks the deeper emotional and spiritual connection that Islam provides. Islam goes beyond mere emotional control by teaching us how to balance ambition with humility and patience. It acknowledges that striving for success is natural and encouraged, but it also reminds us that true success comes only by the will of Allah. It's not just about staying calm in the face of setbacks or victories, it's about maintaining faith and knowing that our efforts are meaningful, but the outcome is ultimately in Allah's hands. Islam teaches us to persevere while reminding us not to let pride take over in moments of success or let despair consume us in times of failure. Through knowing that it is under the will of God, it is highlighting the importance of gratitude to Allah for what one has attained, and adds that one must not forget those who are less fortunate. Hence why annual wealth tax is obligatory and extra non-obligatory charity is encouraged. In this way, Islam fills the emotional gaps that Stoicism leaves behind. It's not just about controlling ambition, it's about moderating our emotions, remaining hopeful in our efforts, but at peace with whatever results may come, and giving to those around us. Islam guides us to work hard but also trust in divine wisdom, ensuring we stay resilient even when things don't go as planned. It's like being reassured that, no matter how rough the road gets, there's a greater purpose behind every challenge, making the journey as meaningful as the destination. It is why many good Muslims, no matter the cards they are served, are grateful, giving, and happier than many who adopt Stoicism or hedonistic and Hellenistic ideological alternatives. While Stoicism offers valuable insights into self-discipline and emotional control, it falls short in providing a complete, coherent framework for life. Its vagueness, isolation, and focus on the individual limit its ability to address the bigger challenges we face. Islam, on the other hand, provides a holistic and comprehensive way of life, rooted in a clear divine purpose, practical guidance, and the support of a global community. Islam doesn't just address your spiritual needs, it helps you navigate the challenges of everyday life with clarity, purpose, and peace. So, here's the question: is Stoicism enough to guide you through life's most difficult challenges, or could Islam offer you the peace and purpose you've been searching for? Now is the time to reflect, to dig deeper, and to find not just temporary inspiration but lasting fulfillment in both this world and the next. If you found this discussion meaningful, please like to help our channel. Also, subscribe for more content like this on Mind Polish. Thank you for staying with us, and until next time, keep exploring and seeking the deeper truths.